Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? This is John Mason. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and that is a time we pay our respects to all the women in our lives, our mothers, and our wives, and our girlfriends, and our sisters, and every other woman we come across. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. And if we want the best for the women in our lives, we must protect their reproductive rights. There are all these states going around that places the most onerous restrictions on abortions. Like, you can only have an abortion after so many weeks before you even know, the woman even knows that there's a fetus inside of her. And you remembered Katie Britt, the senator from Arkansas, who had this very bad case of ham acting after Biden's State of the Union address. Is that the best the Republicans can do? Well, anyway, she has this bright idea of a database. She's proposing this bill that would establish a database for all women who are pregnant. Hello, hello, hello. John Mason. How is everybody? Well, I hope we all enjoyed our Thanksgiving. I certainly did. And it's nice to take a break from hearing about Trump and all the damage he might do to the country if we allow it. And we'll be fresh for the fight. And I am happy as hell that due to public pressure and the investigating of free, independent, competent news media, unafraid of the powers that be. Get the hint, Scarborough, MSNBC? Matt Gaetz has declined the nomination as Trump's Attorney General. And more good news, he had to resign his House seat, which is rather than face investigation over his quote-unquote alleged sexual encounters with underage girls. Now let's turn our attention to another Trump patsy, Peter Hegseth, the Fox News host, who Trump is trying to appoint his Secretary of Defense. He was a major in the Minnesota National Guard, served in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Guantanamo Bay. And he wrote a book called Battle for the American Mind. It's like all through his writings, Hegseth uses the most militaristic language. Like maybe trying to compensate for the fact that he hasn't risen all that high in the officer's ranks as he would have liked. And maybe he thinks being the Secretary of Defense would give him a chance to lord it all over the generals he would supervise. In his book, Battle for the American Mind, Hegseth has been calling for classical Christian schools to be like Christian nationalist boot camps. And he used the analogy in Doug Wilson's podcast of Mao Zedong, his instructions on guerrilla warfare, to pull back and go underground and regroup and fight again. And Hegseth is using that analogy from Mao Zedong for Christian schools. Have them as given a militaristic flavor. And the Doug Wilson he's close to. He's a Christian nationalist pastor and podcaster in Idaho. And he wants to take votes away from non-Christians, likes to terrorize LGBTQ people, and take the vote away from women. Actually, he wants to prohibit non-Christians from elective office. He wants to just terrorize LGBTQ people and take the votes away from women. I said it bears repeating because it's dangerous. And he scoffs at woke and diversity, the advancement of people of color and women into traditional and non-traditional fields like business and the clergy and the military. And he has the idea that the idea of woke, that's trying to find qualified people of color, raise them in the ranks, has destroyed the military, where destroyed its effectiveness, where actually it's improved the effectiveness. A diversity of ideas and experiences coming together to work out a solution. And he's got tattoos on his chest and arms. And tattoos, they signify who you are, since you can't erase them so very easily. I got a tattoo, I won't discuss that. On his right arm, he has all kind of militaristic tattoos, like Deus Vult, God wills it, in Latin. One of the war cries in the Crusades in the Middle East, where such militaristic religious orders as the Knights Templar fought to maintain a Christian state in the Middle East from about the 12th to 14th centuries. And on the right side of his chest, he has the Jerusalem cross. It's like one big cross with little crosses between the arms, signifying Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And to show you the kind of cuckoo bird he is, one time on Fox News, the Fox and Friends morning show, he once said that he never washed his hands for 10 years because he doesn't see germs, therefore they don't exist. On Fox News again, he advocated for Eddie Gallagher, a Navy SEAL who killed 2 innocent little girls in Iraq. And in one of his writings, Hegseth vowed to turn the military into Trump's stormtroops, to turn them around against their fellow Americans and attack them. Nice, peaceful people. He's going to set the military, our fellow Americans, against them. That is evil. But he just wants to mock, humiliate, intimidate, and crush our leftist opponents. And they will do that if given half the chance. You better take that seriously. And he was accused of raping a woman at a Republican women's conference in 2017. And he denies that was a rape. He said it was all consensual. And he was removed from the Minnesota National Guard detail to secure Biden's inauguration in 2021, because along with other soldiers with ties to right-wing militias. And he is bigoted against Muslims and he denies the idea of the separation of church and state. And that, my fellow Americans, is the person who is going to be in charge of our 2 million men and women in uniform and supervision of the nuclear missiles. But we can stop him. Let us contact our senators, all of them, and raise such a stink about it. And like we did with Matt Gaetz, we can remove Hegseth from consideration as defense secretary. And Trump's other minions, he wants for cabinet posts. That would certainly hobble his plans to implement Project 2025. My fellow Americans, our democracy is on the line. We can't allow this maniac like Hegseth, a religious fanatic and bigot, to be in control of our military. Call your senators and tell them to stop Hegseth from becoming defense secretary. Okay. Alrighty then, on that cheery note, advertisements. All this work I do is work. And I shell out money for it. And my work, I believe, needs to be paid for. And with enough money, I could raise it to a higher level. All this work I do with my podcast and my blog and my YouTube channel, my poetry, my fiction, my journalism. So, please get on my website, johnomason.com, and click either the Buy Me a Coffee button or the PayPal button and see what you can give. I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks. And also my novel, Soldier of the Cross, is available on Amazon.com. It's the story of David Lucas, who, as a young man in the early 60s, is a drunk and a whore chaser and a school bully. He gets in trouble in the army. He comes out of the army a born-again fanatical Christian, like Hegseth, a manly man for Jesus. But how he goes about it leads him into disaster. Do please pick it up. Amazon.com, Soldier of the Cross. Thank you. And Hemperific is a lovely little CBD product store located on Snyder Avenue near 15th Street in South Philadelphia. There you'll find some of the finest cannabis-infused products. Gummies and candies and flowers and teas and lip balm and hand sanitizer and dog treats. Yep, dog treats. Please look them up. HemperificLLC.com. And also my beloved career and business coach, Michelle Snow. Michelle is excellent in helping you develop your professional career or small business. Let you know what you're doing right, where you need work, and help you network with other up-and-coming entrepreneurs and professionals. Do please look her up. GrowWithSnow.com. Okay? Alrighty then. That's the fight we're fighting. Let's band together, and we can beat the Hegseths and the Trumps and the Matt Gaetzes, and make America the free nation it's supposed to be. Have a nice weekend. Shabbat Shalom. Bye.